All right, their first match of the day done. I had that one wrong. WeDot took it. So, Astartes and Brutixes, Galente ships. A lot of the previous Galente setups we've seen in this tournament have been all about the drones. This wasn't a drone setup, though.
It had some good drone support, and it looks like they were using that for repair drones.
Yeah, and I think we've seen those Proteus before, and the Proteus are not, they're much more about the blasters. Those Astartes, depending on how they're fit, can either fit horrendous tanks or like horrendous amounts of DPS. So they're actually pretty versatile to fit. I'd like to see them against maybe not the perfect counter against them.
Yeah, the problem is when you're designing a team like that with Astartes and Brutixes, you need to have some way to counter a kite team. So that can be either more tacklers, those two Daredevils were good, but when your logistics is damped, you just can't keep them alive. Or it can mean damps of your own to push the other team in. So if you have a team like that where you actually have a contingency plan for facing kite teams, then that can actually work really well. But in this case, they didn't.
Yeah, and as soon as those Daredevil drops, both of you actually just said it's over.
Were
those kind of the linchpins of the team in this situation?
Yes. Daredevils, they have a huge bonus to the webbing strength, so once they got on top of something, they'd stop it right dead. But once they went down, there was no way to catch up to these Tengus, and the Tengus can outrun all of the ships in their team.
I think they may have been put in there to sort of cover that base, but they really were not adequate, especially with that Oneros damped out. There was no reps coming in, and they just burned right out of the rep range of that Oneros, so...
And I mean, as soon as those Brutixes and Astartes got on top of people, they just like evaporated. But we didn't really see that. So
no, they got on top of the ships that approached them. They weren't able to get on top of the ships that were flying away.
Yeah, I think the Scimitar pilot may have accidentally clicked approach. It's a dangerous mistake against Galente. So.
Or maybe just some clever revolutionary tactic.
Oh yeah, exactly.
The bumping Scimitar.
I know. Anyway, that was a good start to it. This puts WeDot firmly in the finals.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
It takes Godfathers out. They've had one loss and one draw.
Well, Godfathers still can go through, but for that they need Get Off My Lawn to win very convincingly. So they do still have a chance, but it's out of their control.
That is absolutely true. So we had another kite setup. For the people who weren't watching last weekend, where we saw a lot of these kite setups, what is the kite setup all about?
They're mostly about Tengus. The Tengus can shoot to about 120 kilometers with missiles. So, and they're very quick, and they have a very small sig radius. So essentially they avoid the team throughout the arena trying to just pelt them with missiles, because they can shoot from almost anywhere in the arena and hit for full damage. So they're mainly about avoiding the DPS and just pelting people with impunity.
And that's something we've been seeing a lot, is these Tengus, they come in and immediately start burning away from the opponents. They get spread out, so that even if the opponents are faster than them, instead of just getting them all at once, they have to go to one, then all the way across the arena to another, and that just uses up so much time that in the meantime the Tengus can kill everything.
What's the counter? Like, how do you stop this?
Well, you can do a lot of crowd control. You can have like some sort of rapier in there, or perhaps some ECM to jam them out. You essentially have to catch them, or field an identical kite team and just have better skilled pilots or do different fits.
Speed helps. Like Michael Bolton said, tackle helps. So rapiers, Lachesis, Hugens. And being able to damp them so that they have to come in close to do damage.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see just that Kadeshi versus Get Off My Lawn as the next match, and that's of course another one of those matches where someone has to win it to go through to the finals. Godfathers put out a bit of a different setup. We haven't seen the Astartes Brutix setup as far as I know.
I don't think we've seen it. It looked very nice with all those Brutix hulls all in a row. But I think it really needed with some support, it could be really good, but it needed the rest of the team there, and it was really would look like a half-finished team.
All right.
Yeah, I would have maybe pulled two of those Brutixes for like a Hugin or a Rapier or something like that.
That might have been a good one. Yeah, those are very, very good. We saw what team had the recon setup, the mixed recons?
That was -10, yeah.
That was a fun setup.
It was.
I kind of like that. It looked a little bit grab bag, but it worked pretty well.
Recons are extremely, and I know you love the Curse, and that's a great example of it, but pretty much all of or at least every race has at least one recon that's very good in the tournament. They're hard to jam, they're hard to damp, and they provide a lot of utility.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the two teams that are coming up. It's going to be on your screen here. This is our hopefully accurate stats. Get Off My Lawn with no logo, sadly. apart from that, we have 2 wins for the Kadeshi. We have 1 win for Get Off My Lawn. This is, of course, including the pre-qualifier. So not all the stats are necessarily reflecting of what's going on here, but the Kadeshi have definitely done really, really well. And if we look at some of the numbers of money that's been fielded on these teams, that's that's not an insignificant amount of ISK, both fielded and lost. Get Off My Lawn has actually pretty much lost all the ISK they fielded, but they're still in the tournament. They can still go into the finals and just recuperate all that money.
Well, actually, Get Off My Lawn cannot advance from this group stage.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry,
they have 2 losses, and the most any other team can have with WeDot winning this match is 1 loss. What is interesting in this group is by far WeDot and Get Off My Lawn have the best relationship. So it may be possible that right now WeDot is contacting Get Off My Lawn and trying to say, oh, we want Godfathers to get through or we want Kadeshi to get through. So you either need to try really hard to win your match or just sort of show up in hollers.
Yeah, this may be our first example of the metagaming match.
Yeah. Talking about the prizes, someone was talking about Circle of Two using their prizes last year. Do you remember what the story was?
Yeah, Circle of Two took 2nd place in the previous Alliance tournament and had the Freckies, the Alliance tournament frigates. And they fielded them. What was strange with the Freckies is they're not exactly like a very overpowered frigate.
But they're still good.
They're still good.
Good.
They're good.
Yeah.
But
it's hard to have a frigate be that overpowered.
Yeah, exactly. And they're very expensive for only a frigate hull.
Yeah. But there was something about buying
Yes.
Titans.
We got some reports that they managed to get, I think, 6 Titans just from selling off the relatively small numbers. They controlled very closely how many got sold, kept the price up really high, which was the smart thing to do for sure, and made a lot of money from it. These prizes, even though the ships themselves, you don't see them a lot in 0-0, the profits from them really make a big effect.
No.
They're
And I mean, even though it's just a frigate, that on the grand scale of things might not make a difference, it might not be that important compared to other ships, there's still people that are willing to shell billions for these ships.
People want things that other people don't have.
Yeah, yeah. What's the collector guy that has one of every item in Eve? Entity, for example. He'll very likely have bought one.
I believe there are some ships that there were only one, they were blown up. So he doesn't have every item that ever
doesn't,
entered.
he doesn't.
Oh, he does?
No, I said he doesn't.
Okay.
But I mean, he's probably close. I mean, that
Very,
guy's been
very
collecting
close.
for years and years and years, which is kind of cool. I hope he gets everything. All right, Kadeshi versus Get Off My Lawn.
I'm going to go with Kadeshi for this one.
I'm going to go with Kadeshi as well.
Same.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kadeshi as well. All right, let's see if we're all right.